Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com on Roku, now in the UK. Dwyer Boxing News. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. You know, we all have our list of the hardest punchers pound for pound, right? Every fan kind of has an idea of the guys who have outsized one-punch knockout power. Let me share some of the guys on my list. Lucas Matthysse, Bermane Stiverne, Saul Alvarez, David Haye, Jean Pascal. Also on the list is Daniel Ponce de León, the champ at 126 pounds. He hits hard. He puts you to sleep. When he hits you, it changes fights. Now, Ponce de León was the champ at 122 pounds, right? He's the guy who took Johnny Gonzalez's title at 126. Ponce has fought at 130 pounds. He's also fought the best in the area code of his weight classes. Understand, he's already fought Yorkie Scamboa, held his own. The fight ended on a Ponce de León cut. He was stopped on cuts, right? He fought Celestino Caballero. As I said earlier, he fought and beat Johnny Gonzalez. He also gave the toughest fight I have seen given to Adrian Broner. It's debatable whether Broner won that fight. The punch stat numbers, quite frankly, favor Ponce de León. That fight went the distance. Broner edged de León officially. So understand, Ponce has been in the ring with elite fighters. Now, what if I told you that there's a fighter who's never fought at 126 pounds, who, quite frankly, didn't start fighting at 122 pounds until a little bit more than a year ago, April of 2012. What if I told you that in his first fight, given the politics of boxing, where connections matter, he was able to fight a non-champion, Eric Morrell, for the belt at 122 pounds. Think about that. He won the belt at 122 pounds and was able to defend it against Camilo Moreno, who himself lacked experience at 122 pounds. And that's Abner Mares. Now, what if I told you, in a sport where weight classes matter, right? That great middleweight, as Arthur Abraham found out, might not be a great super middleweight, right? You know, that great cruiser, as Marco Huck learned, might not cut it at heavyweight, right? I can throw in Steve Cunningham's name there as well, right? Now, in a sport where weight matters, what if I told you that Abner Mares is actually going to try to gain 4 pounds above 122 and now try to take on Daniel Ponce de León, one-punch knockout power, for Ponce de León's title at 126 pounds? How many of you would be shocked if I said, I like Ponce de León in that fight? Right? Abner Mares hasn't knocked anyone out since he weighed 118 pounds. Right? I believe his last 5 opponents have gone the distance. He couldn't stop Joseph Agbeko even with a bevy of low blows. What information do I have that tells me that Abner Mares' punch is even going to have knockout power at 126 pounds? Also, Abner Mares is a volume guy. throws a lot of punches. Ponce de León has above average volume. Throws a lot of punches. Maybe not as much as Abner Mares, but he holds his own. He threw more punches than Adrian Broner when they fought. Right? Ponce de León has gone 12 rounds where he's thrown over 1,000 punches in a fight. Now, I don't know about you, but when it's a shootout, and I'm betting on that shootout, I like to bet on the guy with the bigger gun. Right? I don't know whether Abner Mares has knockout power at 126. I have no doubt in my mind that Ponce de León does. Right? None. If Ponce lands flush once, this fight is over. They'll be picking up Abner Mares off the canvas. Right? So it shouldn't be a shock that I like Ponce de León in the fight. The only thing that makes it controversial, and you need to do your homework on this because I must be missing something here, is that the bookies and casinos, in my opinion, mysteriously, surprisingly, have Ponce de León as a 2.5 to 1 underdog in the fight. Simply put, you've got to be kidding me. I'm missing something. I don't get it. The bet I'm recommending, and this fight's on the undercard of Mayweather-Guerrero. Another fight I think that's going to be surprising. Well, anyway, the bet I'm recommending here is Ponce de León to win the fight at plus 250. Hedged against the over. Why the over? Simply because Ponce de León in his entire career has only been stopped once. By the way, once in a career where if you look at his resume, you're seeing big names. It doesn't get bigger than Gamboa and Broner. And this guy has only been stopped once. Celestino Caballero. Right? And he's fighting an opponent who hasn't stopped anyone above 118. Now, don't get me wrong. Abner Mares was great at 118. But let's do the math. The difference between 118 and 126, where they'll be fighting this fight, is greater than the difference between welterweight and junior middle. Right? That's huge. 8 pounds when you're talking about little guys at 126. That's huge. Now, I know there are a lot of stories online, a lot, about the fact that these guys spar together. Right? That Abner Mares has been in the ring and knows what to expect. Tell that to Audley Harrison, who sparred with Deontay Wilder. The problem is, if you're in the ring with one of these outsized punchers, let's say you're in the ring with Deontay Wilder, sparring, is Deontay Wilder, when he has the same manager you do, which is the case with these two fighters, is Deontay Wilder really going to show you his A+ power punch? If I'm sparring with Vladimir Klitschko, another guy with a huge punch, during the sparring session, is he really going to show me that sledgehammer straight right hand? You know, the point is, Audley Harrison thought he had been hit by Deontay Wilder in sparring. He found out in the very first round that he hadn't been hit with Deontay Wilder's best. In my opinion, that's what Abner Mares is going to find out in this fight, especially given the fight styles. Abner Mares is a volume guy. He comes in a bit square. He likes to crowd you. He likes to smother you. Now that works when you're fighting smaller guys. They can be overwhelmed. Do you really feel that Ponce de León, who is the champ at 126 and has the bigger punch and is really the sturdier guy, you think he's going to be overwhelmed by having Abner Mares in throwing a lot of punches? Let me also say this too. Combination punchers, guys who throw punches in bunches, really need a defensive construct. You have to have some upper body elusiveness. You really have to be able to read and react and tuck your head. Because when you've thrown a punch, that hand isn't back to block a punch. Right? You can't be a combination fighter without some technique to get the punches off without being hit. Otherwise, an opponent can literally sit there in the pocket, wait for you to open up before that opponent closes your show. My point is simply this. Abner Mares has been in wars. He's been hit a lot, right? He doesn't have great upper body elusiveness. He's not known for a lot of shoulder rolls, right? What he's known for is being in wars with like Joseph Ekbeko and then straying south of the border. He is a great body puncher, but understand too, if I'm going to the body, if I lean in and I go to the body, I'm open up top. That's why you have a lot of fighters, David Haye, Vladimir Klitschko, who don't even go to the body, right? Ali back in the day. So, my point is this. When Abner Mares comes inside, he's going to be open for some of Ponce de Leon's punches. Look at the CompuBox numbers on Ponce de León. He throws a lot of jabs. Ponce de León is going to land a lot of leather. You know what they say in boxing? A good big man beats a good little man. In a wide open fight with a lot of punches landed, I prefer the heavier puncher. I prefer the bigger fighter. I get both here with Daniel Ponce de León. So again, I'm expecting the upset. I might not have all the information. You need to do your due diligence and figure out if Ponce de León has some hidden injury someplace, right? You know, some training camp injury, because you'd be surprised how gamblers will learn that information and then impact the line, right? Something has to be up here. Because to me, Ponce de León should be favored in the fight. He shouldn't be a 2.5 to 1 underdog. I like Ponce de León to win the fight, the underdog, hedged against the over in the fight. Let me hear from you. Tell me what I'm missing. Let's use the information board, the comment section to this video here online, to share information. Educate all of us. How is Abner Mares even considered a favorite in this fight, much less a favorite who right now on the Mares side, right, he's a 3 to 1 favorite. Tell us why. I'm shaking my head. I don't get it. I'm expecting Ponce de León to win this fight, defend his title, possibly get a knockout. The only reason why I'm not grabbing the plus 450 knockout props is because I'm getting a plus 250, and that plus 250 even gives me Ponce by decision. Let me hear from you. Thanks for watching.